Let's talk about characters. Fighting games in Street Fighter 2 generally have a large and diverse cast of characters for the player to pick from with their own unique quirks and playstyles. Eventually, over time, people began to notice similarities between characters in different games and develop terms to differentiate. These help people who don't know much about a game pick a character that they know they're likely going to like. But what if you've never played a fighting game and aren't that deep into the FGC? What if the terms Shotos or Zonas are completely foreign to you? Does the sight of this input scare you? Well, this video is for you. Welcome to Gecko Squirrel's excuse to not do uni work, also known as Fighting Game Archetypes for Dummies. In this series, I will go over the main archetypes for characters in fighting games, explain what makes a character fit into that archetype, and explain what the general game plan is for those characters. So, where to begin? Well, let's begin with the best place to begin, that being the beginning of character select. Shoto is short for Shotokan Karate, which is the type of karate that Ryu and Ken use in the Street Fighter series. I should probably make the distinction now that Shoto doesn't always mean that the character practices Shotokan Karate. It's evolved past that meaning now. But who gives a fuck about that? Nobody cares about Street Fighter now. It's 2020. We've moved past Ryu versus Guile, Grandpa. It's all about anime games now. We play in SNK heroines till we die.
Side note, this comment is not representing the last opinion of fighting game players or even Gecko yourself. That is such an almost 20 years, so please don't take it seriously.
It's all about fucking female Ken with a hat.
Side note, again, be sorry.
Generally now, Shotos represent two things. The fundamentals of the game and balance. They're usually an honest character who doesn't excel at any one thing but is good at being an all-rounder. Shotos usually have some form of fireball, a way to close the gap and get around pressure, an invincible uppercut, and simple to execute combos. This of course depends on the game. Super Saiyan Goku from Dragon Ball FighterZ doesn't have an invincible uppercut, but the game's other main Shoto, Super Saiyan Vegeta, does have a DP, but doesn't have a beam. It's basically the game's version of a fireball. Fighters is weird. Shotos are pretty easy to identify in a game because they're generally the default character selected in versus mode, as well as being on the front of the box. Seriously, basically every game, apart from Guilty Gear, has their main character be a Shoto. But why is that? Balance. Shotos are designed to have a balanced moveset. By having a bit of everything, they're an excellent tool to teach new players. When a player learns to achieve balance through the Shoto, they achieve balance within themselves, and are able to unlock their chi, and gain the ability to shoot fireballs from their hands, and smite people down with the might of Zeus! Since the character is well balanced, a new player isn't going into a game and accidentally picking one of the worst or most complicated characters. Shotos are generally mid-tier because they have options for almost every situation, but aren't able to formulate oppressive game plans in any of those areas. So Shotos aren't good then? Wrong! Because Shotos are well-rounded, this means they don't have any glaring weaknesses that can be easily exploited like other archetypes do, forcing the match to be a fairer fight for them compared to other characters who might lose the matchup. Examples of Shotos are Ryu and Ken from Streets, Kai Kisuke, I don't know how to say his name, from Guilty Gear, Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, Jago from Killer Instinct, and any anime protagonist in their own fighting game. This is all well and good, but if you're not a beginner, why would you ever use a Shoto? To begin with, it would be best to use a Shoto while learning the game, or if you wish to achieve enlightenment. Because they have no glaring weakness, you can figure out how to play different matchups optimally against different archetypes. However, if you're beyond the learning stage, you might want to play a Shoto if you're sick of a specific matchup with your main character and want someone with better tools to deal with the situation without completely changing your playstyle. Or maybe you just like how a Shoto feels. I can't judge you. I picked up Street Fighter 5 when it was free on PlayStation Plus, and I enjoyed the basic game with Ryu. Sure, I'm not good at Street Fighter 5, but I can jump online and play a few matches with it and still enjoy myself. And before you ask, no, I don't have mild spice when I go to Nando's. Have it plain. And finally, you might just be good at that character. Daigo Umehara, aka the best Street Fighter player to ever live, played Shotos in both Street Fighter 3 and 4, and he played them to the best of their abilities. If you don't know who Daigo is, he's the guy from Evil Moment 37, and if you don't know what Evil Moment 37 is, then congratulations, you're about to experience one of the best fighting game moments to ever exist. Please go to your YouTube search bar, type in Evil Moment 37, then come back here and yell in the comments about how it's not that hype because you don't understand Third Strike. But in all seriousness, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's sick. I'd put it here, but you need to go watch it yourself and not in this video. I'm also padding time for the conclusion. So what's the deal with airline food? Shotos are good to help new players get used to the game and help experienced players get around tougher matchups without forcing them to leave their preferred playstyle. Though their playstyle is as round as the fireballs they throw, and their personalities are sometimes as stale as the bread they like to eat, they can get things done. If you're new to a game, pick up a Shoto. If you enjoyed the later seasons of The Office, pick up a Shoto. If you like my videos, then thank you. I put a lot of work into these, and I'm glad that you like them. Hit the like and subscribe button, it really helps me out in terms of motivation. Also, I know it's been however many minutes, but you might remember I said I wanted to make this into a series. And since you sat through the chaotic mess, I hereby decide that now you should be allowed to choose my fate. In the description there's a link to a Twitter poll. You have a week after this video goes up to go there and vote for the next archetype video you want it to be about. I already have a few rough ideas on what I want for these videos, I just want to know what you guys want to see me do next. Anyway, thanks for watching. Maybe check out my Universal Mechanic video because I worked hard on it, or just watch this one again, I don't mind. Anyway, I'm off to sleep for eternity now because the monster's worn off. I'll see you in whatever the next archetype video is.